Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Formative Therapy and to the Culture Study. My name is Cheok PD and I am pumped today because this is my first official reaction to WHIB. How is it pronounced? Where's the Korean? WHIB. So WHIB, you wanna the W is silent, so you wanna emphasize the wh in that. But I'm very excited because I checked out Boys to Planet, which was a long and painful journey. But of that, there was a member that I was super hyped on, that I really wanted him to debut and survive the show. Ultimately did not make it, but that is my boy Kim Junmin. Loved Kim Junmin so much. He probably became, on a very personal level, my favorite idol to come out of that show. So when I said, hey, whenever WHIB does their thing again, I am definitely going to check them out and support Junmin, as well as Lee-jung. I liked Lee-jung as well, but Kim Junmin was my boy. I voted for him. But with that in mind, I'm still excited anyways. Beyond that, actually, even beyond Boys to Planet, in the 2024-2025 award show seasons, WHIB was a group that performed at one of, I think, like Music Bank Festival in Japan, something like that. And back then, I didn't know of the group, had never heard of them. They just performed, and I was like, oh, I kind of like them. And I was like, who is this guy? And there was one person that like stood out to me in particular that I really liked. Turned out to be Kim Junmin. So I was like, oh, okay, I like them enough that I'm willing to check them out. And so after all this time, we're finally here full circle. This is called Rock the Nation. Let's go. Let's check it out. Are there no subs? There are no subs, I'm sorry. Okay, heavy CG, but the budget is pretty decent.
Back in the game, watch your action. Kurt Cobain, 열반의 passion. 피와 땀으로 젖은 passion. 비박션 울리는 악선. Text now, bass combination. 전 세계 다 all in motion. Filming out, 넌 느껴 goosebumps. 이렇게 we rock the nation.
Wow, this is actually a lot of CG. They're gonna have to release a performance version of this.
Yeah, rock the nation, WHIB's invasion. 더 큰 걸 더 원해 매번 my team, my squad, 번호 라면 Lakers, yeah. 더 크게 떨리는 건 널 보지 못해도 당연한 놈. Bound will levitate, we going, you're going, you're 누가 발칼 we go. 여기저기 뭐 어딜 가도 you're my gang. Put you every day.
Whoa! Okay. Ooh, that was a smooth transition. Oh.
Even when the sun goes down, 눈을 감지 못해.
Ooh, that falsetto right there was nice. Ooh, interesting. Okay. That music video was so distracting. I don't even know how I feel about the song. I'm gonna be honest. I virtually took away nothing from that song. And that's not even a diss on that song. Maybe not yet. We'll listen to it a little bit more closely. But I was just, this music video's spectacle was like, what were they competing with? Like James Cameron's Avatar? Like, why was it so over the top? It was so distractingly big in spectacle that I really, really don't remember the song. So I will listen to it again. But the music video, I'm a little split. Because I'm getting the feeling of, okay, they've got a decent budget, but it wasn't a big enough budget where we can really pour it all out everywhere. They were like, okay, we can be a little bit conservative on the practical stuff. Not even conservative. I would say we have to be very minimalistic on the practical stuff, but then we can pour it into the CG, which is what they did. And I'm a little 50-50 because I can't speak to how I can't speak to how he was doing in terms of sales or their popularity, stuff like that. But I have to assume it was not great, especially with the way Junmin and Lee-jung were talking about it on Boys to Planet. I have to assume this was a group that was struggling. So obviously Lee-jung and Junmin got some popular attention through the show. So this is their first comeback. And so now at this point, we're talking about marketing strategy. We're not even talking about the music video. It's just, okay, we're going to have a bunch of people tuning in. And this is their first time probably tuning into the group itself. What do we give them? What do we give them to hook them? And I think they went with the route of let's pour money into this, but let's go big. Let's go Hollywood blockbuster level big. Let's wow them and let's shock them with awe so that they stay based on just how epic it is. That's, I don't even want to say that's a wrong method or that's even a valid strategy. I neither agree nor disagree with it. It might work. I'm just saying, wow, that's a huge swing in my opinion. One of the things that I think that I think personally was disappointing for me was, I mean, I definitely noticed my boy Junmin, and Lee-jung as well, but I don't really know the other members. And I don't even think that Junmin and Lee-jung were propped up in a way where I got my Junmin and Lee-jung satisfying fill. That as someone who was supportive and a fan of them on the show, that I feel satisfied watching this music video. There were so many shots that were just obscured with really, really dramatic lighting, which is cool, but it's just like it was too much. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it was like there, I guess, was a narrative, but I'm like, there was too much narrative and they focused on the narrative a little too much. And I'm just like, where are the classic K-pop glamour shots? Where are the solo shots? Like, where are the moments where I can really kind of like see the members and appreciate the members and kind of hone in and focus in on them in that way? And so whenever there were like these handful of like these action shots of what, like, AI robots fighting one another, like was it just a robot on robot war? I don't know. Whatever it was, it just made me feel like we could be using this moment for something else. We could be using this moment to prop up the members a little bit more. And that's the thing about the CG is like, it was cool. It was epic. It was like watching and I very rarely say this, and I mean this in a hugely complimentary way. It was like watching a cutscene in a video game. Like, it was epic. It was huge. And like, I'm not just talking any video game. I'm talking like OG mid 2000s Blizzard level, like their Warcraft films type of stuff. Like, it was epic. But I'm just like, what does this have to do with the members? And like, like Lee-jung was in the mask with the white mask, beat the black mask, etc. I'm like, beyond that, I'm like, they were never on the battlefield. I feel like that would have probably made it feel a little bit more epic. They were just overseeing the battle the entire time on a cliffside, right? Which you know, the CG at least wasn't bad. The lighting was on point. They looked a part of the scene, like they were assimilated well. And there were like these cool splashy shots where Chunmin was like, I guess the devil in some way. Like they had like red smoke wings coming out of him, and his eyes or his face or something was like turning red. And so they had like these cool things, but it felt like it lacked substance in that way. The song was cool. To what I remember, all I remember is like this very epic, almost an Imagine Dragons type of echoing, "We rock the nation." Like that part was cool, but we'll see if the song has any substance. On a first viewing, the music video seems like it doesn't really have substance, and it also doesn't have fan service either. It felt like a really cool sizzle reel. But that's just like a first impression. I want to give it another go. Let's kind of pick it apart. So let's check out Rock the Nation one more time. It just starts. They don't even give you any breathing room in like an intro. It's interesting. Yeah, they're really going for shock and awe. If the timer hasn't even hit 1 second and the shouting is out. The shouting has already happened. Like this is the most we get in seeing the individual members close up.
Back in the game.
Okay, it's feeling very. So when I saw this aesthetic, I was like, this is getting a very Star Wars: The New Order. So this is why I could tell like they had a decent budget, but they decided to commit it all to CG. This is a very easy scene to shoot. They're trying to make it a part of it, and I actually really admire and commend the team. This is really easy to shoot, but it works well. Like in terms of like whether or not this was a good choice and strategy to go for marketing wise to make the music video like this is up in the air, and that's up to you guys, the fans, to decide. But in terms of like, that's not the video team's fault. Like the video team is doing what they are tasked with, and given that it like how limited the practical aspects of the shoot are, this was a very creative idea. Shooting it against black, so it gives off a little bit more depth, openness, and distance. I would have probably shot this wider to make it feel a little bit more grand. The tightness tells me just how small the studio is. But then they fill it up with smoke. You add in lighting effects, and therefore it gives off like this really, really epic, triumphant, almost violent feeling. They add like some CG particle overlays, which is great. That is such a great choice. You see like it looks like embers and ash coming up. The CG particle overlay really gives the scene a bit more depth than there actually is. If you didn't see this CG overlay, your eyes would very quickly notice how flat this shot is. They have a lot of dynamic elements going on where their members are running through. They have giant flags and they've got the smoke. But because it is just one-dimensional lighting, there's only one light source coming like this, and then I guess you could say that they do have no, I don't think they have backlighting. The light is just still hitting the smoke. So they have one-dimensional lighting, so it looks very flat, and so the particles make it feel a little bit more alive. So, okay, during that part of the song, like robots are fighting, cool, great. I don't mind. I do wish that rather than the robots fighting, this scene right here, so someone's rapping. I wish we could see who was rapping. I wish we could see the performance of it. And then all of this, like them waving the flag stuff. Whoops, I muted it. Where there's no like actual lyric stuff happening. I feel like they could have put it here instead of like these CG robots. I mean, it's cool. I see a missed opportunity right here. So we're following this robot. Hold on. Okay. The physics is like a little wonky. So he turns, he arcs to jump to hit, and then it looks like he's turning. It looks like he's gonna spin back, and then he decided, nah. He decided, oh nah, I'm not gonna actually spin back. So look, he looks like he's gonna spin back, and then he stops, and then he turns back midway. So like physics-wise, that doesn't make any sense. That was funny, but that's a really great impact shot, and it would have. It's such a great opportunity for a nice transition match cut. I think if we had utilized these CG scenes to be representative and symbolic of the boy group, it would have been cooler. And what I mean by that is, like they're acting it out here in like this black scene, and then the robots are like what's actually happening, and then they're sort of acting it out almost in like a theater sort of way. So like imagine this shot right here that we have. So this robot comes, and then right as this robot punches, would have been a nice, great match cut to you then see a close up of Chunmin as he's like mid punch as he's throwing it, and he's like hitting something or someone. Maybe they're like fighting each other. That would have, I think, made for a lot of these scenes to feel a little bit more meaningful. And something about this scene. Okay, so this is 4K. I think one of the more disappointing aspects is this, how darkly lit it is. Like that's again like where the budget is very limiting. They try to make it up with CG. They really committed hard on the CG budget. They try to make up for the scene like having nothing else. They don't even have 3-dimensional lighting. Again, they're doing harsh one key lighting, so it does not look great. It's also not lighting the scene that well, so you're also getting a little bit of like the bit rate breaking apart through YouTube. But it's really dark. It's not satisfying to look at. Like you can't make out any details. And then you've got all this debris flying around, which again makes it feel epic. It gives the shot depth, and that's smart. But it's just I just think it's a little too much. That shit was dope though. Now that was a dope transition. The way, oh, that's so cool. The way all the members fall in line behind Chunmin and like all the debris is coming in on them, and then it becomes this guy. Well done. But again, why is it so dark? Why is it so dark? That was really cool. That's a really cool transition. The shard of the next scene coming in and then it cutting to. And then the way that they're at least, this video team is very, very creative. Budget limitations aside, the video team is so creative based on their limitations. The way this is so creative. So we've got like this angled bird's eye view. They do like a nice Gaussian blur on that, and they just you see a snippet of the dancing through the glass. That's so cool. That transition is so fire. Oh, that's so fire. That's so fire. Would have been a little extra work. But Jimin right here in the silhouette, really cool. So it lasts a little too long. Silhouette, too much silhouette. How I think it would have been cooler. It would have been cooler if, so I think they just couldn't afford a lot of lighting. They're just using the practical lighting. But if they had been lit here, while Junmin is right here and he's lit, when he turns his head right there, that's when they should have cut very practically. They have a light on him. They cut the light, and as he arcs his head, then it cuts to this silhouette shot. Then he leaves. Then it moves into that member, and then you've got the cool transition. Would have just a nice little cherry on top. So Junmin's the devil. Yeah, no, there are some scenes where they shot there's some key lights on them. So they could have done that. Yeah. They cut the light at some point. Yeah, so I wish they had cut the light practically. That shot was completely unnecessary. That shot was completely unnecessary. I would have focused on Lee-jung way more and focused on the other members. It's a cool transition. Completely unnecessary. Cutting to the black and white on the snap. That was dope. That was dope. No, and then he launches into the fight. Like they're in like a fighting stance. And then he launches up. The timing is really well done. Ooh, wait a minute. And then boy snaps here again. And then it turns back into color and he moves back up. Oh, their ideas are good. Ooh, that's smooth. I'm glad they don't overdo it. The snap is still there in the instrumental. I'm glad they don't overdo the black and white effect too much. Twice was enough. That's a dope shot. Who shot this? Feels like an old Zany Bros music video. Woo! The strobing here in this scene, really cool. And then the set like becoming destroyed and falling apart, really cool. So I think just a little extra bit of just like note is this finale scene would have a little bit more impact if they hadn't utilized the silhouette scenes so much at the beginning. It would have made this set look like it's a separate, different set. Same with these black and white sets with the strobing going on. The strobing and all of that is really cool, but we've seen these scenes with just the one key lighting the entire time. If they had actually just shot them with 3-point lighting, make them well lit, and same for the white scenes. If they had lit them up properly in the earlier scenes, this finale, the trembling of like the big, like all the rubble coming apart and the strobing the impact would be harder because we haven't seen the silhouettes used so much before. Okay, so I can tell their label took a big swing, and I'll say this. I respect it. It is unfortunately, in my opinion, and unfortunately, I don't personally agree with the tactic. I personally think the video team did a great job at whatever the orders were from the label. But I think when you have a lot of people tuning in, I think what would have captured them more is showing the charm of the other members as well. And even as someone who came in for Junmin, I'm like, I feel like I didn't see enough Junmin. And I feel like we saw a lot of Junmin. When I say I feel like I didn't see a lot of Junmin is there was too much shadows. Like the lighting was so dark, and they're trying to hide the fact that the practical sets are just really, really small. And so because of that, even though Junmi was in the shot, I'm like, we see most of his body outline. And so, it just, I feel like this didn't satisfy my Junmin hunger, as it were. And I don't think it did a great job at showcasing any of the other members for me, because you have to remember, a K-pop group is more than just its center. A K-pop group is the culmination and the building blocks of multiple people coming together. And I didn't really see that. And so there were some members who stood out, but I'm like, they were flashes in a pan. I could not even tell you what their faces looked like beyond like, oh, I liked that moment, I liked that moment, I liked that moment, but I couldn't describe their facial features to you because the video was so dark. So it was a big swing. I respect it, but I don't agree with it necessarily. But it was a cool video. And I will always respect big swings rather than boring ones, rather than safe ones. So they still get my respect. I will always respect labels that try to at least do something different. Just a little too heavy on the CG. With that in mind, that is Rock the Nation by WHIB. The song? I still don't remember the song. I still don't. I don't know what I listened to. The video's too distracting. I have to listen to this song by itself or through the album or what have you, because the video is just too distracting. So I literally cannot tell you how I feel about the song. Like, I'm not trying to sugarcoat my words. I genuinely do not know how I feel about this song. All I still remember is that we rock the nation, and I think it doesn't help that they have neither Korean nor English subtitles. It would be so helpful. Even Korean subtitles, I would have just been like following along and just reading it, and then I'd be like, okay, so that's what's going on, or that's what they're singing or rapping about. But I don't know. With that in mind, guys, let me know, what did you think of Rock the Nation? What did you think of the song? What did you think of the music video? Because those are two separate opinions, definitely, on something like this. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed my reaction to Rock the Nation, hey, consider supporting the channel. There's multiple ways to do so. You can always visit our Patreon for bonus reactions. As I mentioned, I did check out Boys to Planet. It's on my Patreon. The whole 10 episode journey, or was it 11? Something like that, is all on Patreon. Of course, if you don't want to support the channel monetarily, you can always just support the channel by liking the video down below. You can subscribe over here, and you can always check out my videos in the upper left-hand corner as well here on YouTube. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you later. Bye.